Hello. How's it going there?
Hi.
Sleepers out, sleep outers. What would you say? Sleepers out?
Outie sleep, sleepy out.
Outie sleepers. My name is Matt Allwright and I'm a patron of Launchpad, and I do things like carols by candlelight and that sort of, occasionally play music. No one's complained yet.
No, you are very good at it.
Bless you.
I'm Michelle Jordan, hello. I'm not used to all of this because this is like telly. I'm normally in the studio. There's a reason for that. I like being in the studio when no one can see me. So yeah, I work for BBC Radio Berkshire and BBC Radio Oxford, and my association with Launchpad is I did the big pancake race last year and I hosted that and it was amazing, and I just like working with Launchpad and help them raise some money with the big sleep out.
Yeah, big time, absolutely. I'm from Reading. Reading is my home. It's where I was actually born in Wokingham, but Reading is where I used to hang out all the time. So it's really important to me that we can do whatever we can to help people that haven't necessarily had the same luck that I've had. Maybe Michelle, I don't know. You feel the same way?
I do, because you know when you're going through town or you're going to the train station and you think, I wish I could do more. I see somebody and I think, why don't I do more? I wish I could do more. And I think lots of us have those kind of thoughts when we're going to the train station and we're going on a jazzy night out, and then you just sort of think, well, I should be doing something to help because I'm in quite a nice position in my life at this time, but I think I could do more to help others, so that's what we're doing.
It's all about luck, and tonight, you lucky people, you are taking part in the big sleep out, so you are part of the solution, not part of the problem, and hopefully you're going to raise money. Obviously this year it's different. It's going to be virtual. We're going to talk you through everything you need to understand so that your virtual sleep out for Launchpad this year is a massive success. Are you ready?
I'm so ready, and I'm going to make it lots of fun, because otherwise, there's no point, is there? We want to make it fun. If we're going to, be sleeping out in the garden, it might as well be a laugh.
Yep, it may be cold, but let's be bold.
Clearly, it is the morning. We're doing this in advance, and the reason we're doing this in advance is because I am doing exactly what you're doing. I'm going to be out in my garden, putting up my tent, because we're not trying to replicate homelessness, but I want to be, I want to feel that it's a little bit uncomfortable and just sort of find out what that feels like and, make me think a little bit.
So the stuff that maybe Launchpad clients are experiencing, the choices they're having to make almost every night or some nights, just people are going to have a little taste of that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, my tent is already too big for the garden. So my choices are maybe just get cardboard, maybe do a den, maybe, have a bit of a leaky sided tent. Some people don't have anything at all.
And of course the other side of this is that it's raising money for Launchpad, and it's not just raising money for people who are rough sleeping that night, which perhaps is the bit that people expect, but Launchpad's work goes so much further than that. It prevents people getting into that situation in the first place. It helps people with their benefits applications, it goes into education, it does whatever it can to take the luck out of the equation and give people maybe another chance, stop them ending up on the street. So if you're in any doubt about what you're doing tonight, that's what it is. And if you want to find out more about the services that Launchpad offers, check out their website. It is incredible.
Can I add that because I'm new to the Launchpad family, the things that I found out recently, and they're really important, and I don't know, maybe you didn't know, like I don't know, because Matt, you've been a patron a bit longer than me. So the thing that I found out that I thought was really important, sometimes when you see people and you think, well, why are they on the street? How do they get there? What has happened to them? That if I made some bad choices, how many is it? Is it 3 bad choices? I lose my house, lose my job, am I on the street? What happens? So that's the other thing, that's the other side, that's what Matt's saying that Launchpad do. If I found myself in a position, especially with COVID and people losing their jobs and all of that, there is support there and there is help so that maybe I don't find myself on the street.
And COVID is a perfect example of where bad luck, nobody knew about that, nobody could predict it, and very few people really understand what to do next. Launchpad is dealing with that every single day, flexing, trying to accommodate whatever the latest restrictions are, and still provide that help and support for its clients. So you are helping them to flex and helping them to provide whatever's just around the corner. Who knows what that's going to be?
Yeah. No.
It's getting colder.
Your hair's fine.
No, I'm going to beanie up.
Come on.
I'm going to
get your beanie
I'm
on.
going to wear my thermally efficient Launchpad beanie.
They're
And
nice beanies.
Hair, no problem. I could be like Dom Littlewood under here. And no, I could be Greg Wallace and nobody would know. That's the beauty of a Launchpad beanie. You want to get your hands on one if you can. It's going to be a fabulous evening, Mish.
We've got loads
so
coming up.
much planned.
Yeah. Going to see a video soon from a client, so a real experience. So if you're, thinking, well, I don't know, what it would be like, well, you're going to hear what it's going to be like from somebody who's lived it.
I'm looking forward very much to the food parcel cook along.
Well,
Because that's a challenge. If you want a challenge, how about that? A lot of our clients, a lot of Launchpad clients, have to make their dinners, their lunches, their teas, whatever, from really limited resources. And we are going to see how you can be really creative with the sorts of things you might find that you have to take from a food bank or you're given in a food parcel of some sort. So it's going to be creative, it's going to be challenging, and you can get involved too. Then it's your bit.
Well, I am going to do it. So you will have had all the information in your pack. So you probably have to go into your dry goods or your tin bit in your cupboard or your larder. So I'll be interested to know what you've cooked up with your ingredients, because I don't know what I'm going to do with mine, but I'm sure I'll work it out, because if I was on the street and that was my option, I'd have to work it out, I'd have to do it.
Yeah. You're doing the quiz?
I am doing the quiz. And let me just say...
Yeah.
Mine was rather fabulous, apparently. Maybe up there with Tarrant's. I don't want to... I mean...
What? What am I, like chopped liver? I've just been shaded. Did somebody feel a cloud come across?
I'm totally quiz
I was first, Nish, and it was hard.
Yeah.
I'd say we were a tough crowd.
You had a tough crowd.
I had to mute all of them. They were a tough crowd.
I had dogs, I had cats in mine. It was ace. So let's do that again and have some fun.
I didn't realise it was that sort of a gig. Well, did you build a den?
Oh, no.
No, you didn't. You can see the den that I built. There are a few little tips in there as well, but really I wouldn't follow them if I were you. I made out of cardboard and bubble wrap what I would call a cardcophagus. It was not comfortable, but it was surprisingly sleek and well sealed. There's going to be a video, you can watch me doing that a little bit later on. And then the big finish.
It is a massive finish. We've had to wheel out Tarrant, obviously, to close the
Literally.
show. Yeah. Obviously, because, we're just warming up for Tarrant. Am I the only weirdo who would like to be read a bedtime story?
Yes.
I've said this before on my show, that I would really like an older gentleman to come into my bedroom, read me a story at the end of my bed and go, night, night, Mish. I go, thanks.
You just shaded Tarrant as well. What is this? I think like his sunny personality. Oh my god. Anyway, yes, big bedtime story from Chris Town, and no, I don't fancy that. But you are gonna love it, I promise you.
It's going to be great, all tucked up in our tents, and there comes Grandad Chris with a little story. Hooray!
Just call him that. Next time you see him, call him Grandad Chris. See how that goes down.
He knows I love him.
Thank you, Chris.
What's in the bag?
This is the event pack that you should have received at this stage. Have you looked? Don't peek.
Oh,
We're going to do a reveal.
sorry.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Right, we'll do one item each.
Okay.
You start, Mish.
All right. Oh, it's that Christmas. Oh, I'm having a feel.
Is that crisps? Is that crisps?
Ooh.
Oh, that's nice.
Ah, le croissant.
Who doesn't like a baked good? That would be nice.
Very
in the morning.
nice.
That'd be perfect for the morning. This, I love the look of this. Look at this.
What is it?
This is a frame for your selfies.
Oh, yeah.
You use this,
I like mine.
take some pictures of yourself with this, and then it's automatically Launchpad branded. And you can show your friends what you're doing. They can get on board and they can, donate. Which, let's face it, that's what we want.
Ace. I love that.
Love that. What else you got? What else
we
you
need
got?
to flood social media with loads of photos, don't we?
Totally.
Let's have a look. Oh, now this is a big thing.
That looks serious.
Oh, now together we can prevent homelessness in Reading. So it's a whole pack.
Yeah.
Look at all that.
It's got the serious stuff. So it tells you here what Launchpad is all about in a very, very simple way. And then, now, who doesn't love a cup of soup? Gotta love a cup of soup. That could go in your mug. You only get the thermal mug if you reach your fundraising target. So that, you need that for that. Okay, what else? What else we got?
Oh, a cup of rosé.
Lovely.
Lovely. Soup
And
up.
there's also coffee.
Coffee.
The decaf.
Is that bumper sticker? Bumper sticker for your
That's
car.
good. The bumper sticker, that's good. You can't see it, but that says good things. When people are following you in your car, they'll be able to see that. What
There
we
is
got
a
here?
programme of events for tonight.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, so make sure that you look through that so you know what's happening at what time and when, and so you can be prepared, whether it's the cooking or it's videos of somebody who's lived this and who has been helped by Launchpad. It's all in here.
This has made me feel a little bit tearful. It's my first Christmas card of the year.
What?
Look at that, and it's Launchpad, produced in joint partnership with the Reading Chronicle. It's left for your message inside, but it's by Ellie, who's aged 5 from Tilehurst. So that's my first Christmas card, and I reckon I'll get a load of these. These are great,
so
aren't they?
lovely.
That'll cheer you up. Well done, Ellie. Good work. What else? Are we there? Have we done it?
We're there, let me just check.
We've got the lot.
Check. But then you've got a lovely tote bag as well.
Oh, hello.
What?
Don't forget your thermally efficient beanie. You lose like 30% of your heat through your
You
head,
do. Yeah, you
but
do.
not with one of these. So thank you, Launchpad. What a great bag.
So if you've got any concerns or any questions or just stuff that you want to know, that you can email us at fundraising@launchpadreading.org.uk.
And also, this has to be a big social media event. Let's let everybody know about it. And you can find everything you need to know on your handy frame here. Look, the hashtag BSO at home, that's a good place to start. Tag that in on all of your pictures of sleeping out tonight. We want to see the most hilarious, the most disastrous, if it comes to that. Stay safe. Then, over here on the tweets, at Launchpad, oh no, that's Launchpad, at Launchpad_RDG. Have I got it right? Brilliant. Then we've got Facebook, which you probably know about because you're on it, at Launchpad RDG, no underscore there. And then on your Instagram, at Launchpad Reading. Use them all at the same time. Get it out there. Let people know about the effort you're putting in and about Launchpad so they can join in at some point in the future. Stay social, peeps. One thing we've got to do before we go any further is we've got to get a picture of Kate with a sound. Right, so let's share that with the world, right? That's Kate with a sound twig. She's got a sound twig. There we go. Right, you can see that.
I mean, it's rock and roll now.
Isn't it?
I mean, you don't get this on your one show.
You
and
don't
watch
get this on the
do
one
you?
show. There
I
should be
mean,
more sound twigs. So maybe you're watching this and you're not actually taking part in this year's big sleep out. Hashtag BSO at home. Have I got that right? Yeah, good. But you want to be part of it, okay? Then you can. And going forward, there are going to be so many more opportunities to get involved if you know the correct site to go to.
ta-da! Launchpadreading.org.uk/donation.
Come and be part of it.
Now we're about to see a video. It's an update of everything that Launchpad have been doing over the last few months and what's happening right now. And here's one of our trustees with the video. Here's Manjula Fagnis.
Okay, and straight after that, you're going to see a Launchpad team member chatting to one of their clients about their experience together and how it's all working. So that should be fascinating. Yeah?
Well, that's it, isn't it?
That is it.
Very best of luck to everybody who's sleeping out.
Yeah, you're doing it. You're sleeping out so others don't have to. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Manjula Fagnis and I'm a trustee for Launchpad Reading. I just wanted to say thank you so much for joining us. Your support for this event is very much appreciated. The Big Sleep Out at Home raises money to support our work preventing homelessness in Reading. But how do we ensure vulnerable people in Reading don't lose their home and spend night after night on the streets. Sometimes people need more help to overcome a serious housing-related challenge, which is why our drop-in, floating support and legal services work with people who are at risk of homelessness to address the roots of their problem and ultimately stop a housing problem becoming a crisis. The individuals, couples and families we work with include victims of domestic abuse, army veterans and people leaving care or prison with nowhere to go, those who struggle with numeracy and literacy and can't access the benefit system to pay rent, people battling with issues such as addiction, debt management and poor mental health, and more recently, those whose housing situations have been impacted by COVID-19 with a postponed eviction, furlough, redundancy or illness. Your donations help us to continue to support people in Reading at risk of homelessness with tailored support plans for periods of 3 to 6 months, working with clients to tackle whatever is holding them back or having an impact on their housing situation. Support to build confidence, develop new skills and help the client achieve long-term stability and independence. Support and free legal advice for people who are being treated unlawfully by rogue landlords, housing associations and other agencies across Reading, so clients can keep their home or obtain alternative, clean and stable accommodation. We could not do what we do without you, so thank you for being part of Team Launchpad. Our work is more important than ever, and we ask that you consider making a donation by visiting launchpadreading.org.uk/donation. A donation of just £25 can help fund a simple mobile phone so a client in crisis can contact Launchpad for the support they need. It's now my pleasure to introduce you to some of our clients who will share their stories about working with Launchpad, and to Ruth from our floating support team who talks about our services.
So we often get clients that are referred to us, not always just because they're at risk of becoming homeless, but perhaps their accommodation has become so unsuitable that their need is to access alternative accommodation and they may not have the appropriate skills to do that. So we will often see cases that are arguably lighter touch, so we might work with certain clients to access alternative accommodation. So when James came to us, he was in unsuitable accommodation in that his physical health was poor and he wasn't able to manage the stairs at all. Not only that, but there was antisocial behaviour in the area, which was really beginning to take a toll on his mental health. So, even during COVID, we were still able to work with him to move on to permanent accommodation, which is where he is now, all in the space of 5 months, and he's really happy there, really comfortable, is completely resettled and just sort of hopefully will be there for a very long time.
Well, I was looking for a place where I didn't have to climb too many stairs because I have problems with my slip discs and hips is not too good, and I'm waiting for an operation, and basically climbing up the stairs was sometimes a bit difficult. And they like twirly, they're not straight, they like twirly around, and a lot of my friends that are able to walk always fall down them because they're quite difficult to walk up and down. And sometimes with the crutches, if I'm on a bad day, it's really difficult to walk down. I have to sit down on my bottom to get down the stairs. I couldn't live the way I was living going up and down the stairs, but that was my physical problem. But my mental problem was keeping my head together and not going absolutely crazy with what was happening around me at that area, because as I said, there was crack users. I don't want to get people in trouble, but because it's not their fault, I don't blame the users, I blame the people that got them hooked, because nobody wants to be an addict. It's always apprehensive when you go in to get help and that, because you don't feel so confident, do you?
When James was originally referred to us, his referral came through from Reading Borough Council. We were able to quickly identify that his accommodation was just not suitable for him, and he didn't necessarily have the skills that he needed to secure other accommodation or suitable accommodation. So we would sit down with James to look at what's right for him, and just fill in those relevant application forms. James eventually was placed on the housing register, So in this case, we supported James to bid for appropriate housing, and he was then offered a ground floor flat, I should say, and was able to move into that. When James moved in, it was just a case of getting him settled and stable so that he didn't, nothing went wrong for him, and he was able to maintain this accommodation. So we ensured that all of his bills were in place, support him to put any standing orders in place, because I think that just generally makes it easier for someone to manage their finances, and then just ensure that the client has what they need, so essential white goods, soft furnishings for the property, and that might not necessarily directly come from us, but it will be linking clients in with the appropriate agencies or places to get that.
Because I wasn't very good with the with forms and online stuff. I didn't feel very confident, and that was a downfall for me. I was always scared of messing up and getting things wrong and losing out. I was nominated by this place at Launchpad to have a look at a place in Tyler. It's a really nice place. You're not like talked down to, you're a human being, which is good, and they don't mind you telling them, like, I'm not that clever when it comes to technical stuff. They're not going to laugh at you, and because a lot of people, I don't know if it's just me, but a lot of people my age don't get on with computers and that. We're just not been. I'm only learning now, and because I didn't want to put too much on Ruth, I tried to do things myself. So I started to learn a little bit. They give you a sense of being, just a sense of being good, being nice. It's calm. Yes, it's lovely, it's quiet, it's completely opposite. My garden is next to trees, it's got squirrels. I video squirrels and birds all the time. Baby squirrels, running around, chasing each other's tails around the bark trunk of a tree. It's really cute. And I didn't have that before. I was on the Oxford Road, in an alley. Sometimes you feel a bit uneasy, walk late at night, that's only my entrance. You feel vulnerable. And going from there to where I am now, it's amazing, isn't it?
When Dean came to us, his case was very complex. He had a number of issues that had built up over a number of months, and this is really common, something that we see often with our clients, in that you just sort of fall into a place where you might bury your head, and that's so easy to do. So Dean was in a situation where he was supporting a friend, he'd lost jobs, and he's slightly older as well, so it can be quite difficult to reach out for support. When he managed to do so, he was referred to us, and we were able to put that support in place to support him. When people come to Launchpad, it's really, really important that we don't pass any judgment on our clients, and I think Dean sort of noticed that when he was working with us. Of course, they're just like any other individual, and for whatever reason they've encompassed a problem in their life, and it isn't not our place to judge them. It is simply our role to work with them to become independent and to establish the best route out of their issues or whatever it may be.
So I'd be getting up at like sort of 5 in the morning, doing a job at 6 for an hour, go home, change, go to my main job, 9 to 5-ish flexi time thing. Maybe come home, go to the other job in the evening, and over Christmas time you wouldn't finish that and get home till 1 o'clock in the morning at the earliest. And then up again straight away still again. But I don't sleep much anyway. I really never have, And I kind of got into the routine of it. So I managed to do all this, juggle it all, somehow managed to get it all going, started sorting things out, and then it just kind of went a bit wrong. Things started going a bit crap at work, a lot of pressure, that sort of thing, and I just lost it. I was signed off for a while, then I'd go back, and then I'd be signed off again because I thought I was okay to go back, and obviously I wasn't, because you try, don't you, and you think, yeah, if I go back, that's what I need. Sometimes it's not. Doctor said it was anxiety and depression. Yeah, I've had this for a long time, but I managed to keep it under control most of the time, but then it comes back. It's one of those things. Finally got medication for it now, which helps. Doesn't stop it, but it helps. Anyway, so all that was going on. Then I was kind of looking after a friend who has now since passed away from different reasons, but he was having his own problems. But I'm someone who looks after everybody else. Always put myself last, you know. I don't ask for help, so it's a bit alien to me to actually do that. Yeah, so I'm running around looking after other people. That's what I do, but mainly this one person. We became like the most unlikely but closest of friends. Really, you know. And it wasn't all one way. He did try and help me. He did try and, you know, but he wasn't in the best place to try and do that either. There was only so much he could do, you know. But bless him, he tried. Anyway, so he got a bad drug habit, heroin. Nearly killed him about 7 times. Yeah, and I'm the one taking him to hospital in the middle of the night, sitting with him and all the rest of it, you know. I happened to be signed off from my main job, well, all the jobs, when he said he finally wanted to actually get off the stuff. So I was able to practically move in for a month. I was told it would be really horrible. I was told I'd be sworn at and everything really nasty. Didn't compare to what it actually was. It was really, really hurtful from someone that you actually, you know. I stuck with it because I promised I would, you know, and the promise was important. Yeah. It really pushed my limits of what I thought I could handle. It really did. Way beyond what I thought. And I'm used to looking after people, you know. But as I say, it was one of the hardest and worst things I've done, but also one of the best things I've done, you know, because there was such a result. And I know you don't do it for like a load of praise and stuff, but I know how much it meant to him. But by then I wasn't even dealing with anything at home. I just wasn't. It was like the post was piling up. I was ignoring everything because I was like, there was just nothing to deal with it, you know. I lost the morning job then. The evening job was in jeopardy, and so was the main job. I'd gone back to work, but then that lasted about 2 or 3 weeks before I was made redundant. Yay! Yeah, so that, you know, but I hadn't been there long enough to get any decent pay, so no money. I was relying on the evening job, and then that, again, made redundant. So it's one of them things that was everyone was cutting back at the time, you know. I just shut down, really. I didn't talk to anybody. I just stayed at home, or I'd go and see this guy because that was a distraction. It was a way of not dealing with stuff, you know. It got to the point there was post piling up. There was all sorts. My house is still quite a mess actually, and I'm just starting to deal with that now. I kind of got to the point I just wanted it all to stop. You know, I got to that point. I just couldn't really think about any of it. The crisis team, Prospect Park, a friend of mine phoned them because she was quite worried that I was going to shot myself, and quite frankly I could easily have done, you know, because I was in that place, you know. So eventually obviously whatever money I had disappeared, and that was the case for about 6 months. So I ran up loads of debts, rent, everything else.
And how were you eating?
Food banks, or people, basically. You know, friends were lending me money, feeding me, very good, you know, but only when they found out. And it was the council told me to come and talk to you guys about, because by then obviously I realised I was that close to being evicted. It was going to be a court case about eviction, and I had no way of paying anything, you know, but I'd not spoken to them and told them either. I buried my head in the sand. Really stupid thing to do, but at the time you don't see it that way. But it's like I came in and obviously spoke to somebody, spoke to a few people actually. Just unloaded, just told you everything because I thought, what have I got to lose? You know, didn't hold back. But there was no judgments and everything. It's just like whatever I told you guys, it was just like, you didn't sit there and go, well, I don't think that's quite true, and like people do, you know. I mean, whether you think it or not is between you and yourself, you know, but you take it all as it is. And I really loved that, because it was just like, it made me feel that I could talk to people, like here, You know, and obviously, I mean, you probably know, once you start talking about it, it doesn't seem so bad. It's just getting to talk about it, and that is such a hard thing. It's ridiculously hard, and it seems so simple.
When Dean was working with us, he really was on the brink of losing his home, and part of this is because of such large debts that he had to his name, and this can become really overwhelming for someone, especially when you owe money to various lenders and you almost lose track of who you owe money to. So, you know, part of our support plan with our clients might be, you know, so they need to tackle their debts, and we would look at how can we do that. Do we signpost into another agency? Can we support with any necessary phone calls? And I always find it, you know, sometimes in the first instance, just to write down what are your debts, who do you owe what and to who, and just to try and make things a bit more manageable, because it really does become so overwhelming when you owe so much money to various people. I think it's really important that we don't just do things for our clients. I think it could be quite easy, you know, if you're making a phone call to say, let me talk to them. But actually, I think what's more important is that we encourage our clients to take that responsibility, and it might be a case of, you know, let's make the phone call together this time, and next time you make it by yourself. But it really is sort of case by case. But definitely sort of encouraging that independence is important for our clients. A lot of people wouldn't understand what benefits they might be entitled to, so we can support them to do calculations online and establish what benefits they are entitled to, and then of course make the necessary claim if it hasn't already been done. And this, you know, they're entitled to an income like anybody else, so this is just ensuring that they have in place what they're entitled to. She
initiated a lot of conversations with the right people, which was amazing, quite frankly, you know. It was making those phone calls that I knew I needed to but couldn't, because whatever, stupidity, I don't know, pride, fear of disappointment, all the rest of it, you know, all the negative stuff. But then we'd sit in the room and she'd like, well, who do you need to talk to today? Okay, housing people, right, so we'd phone them. Right, and then she'd say blah blah blah, it's them, blah blah blah, you know, talk to them, and it's like hand it over. And that was good. As much as I perhaps didn't want to talk to people because I was afraid of what the results would be, having somebody kind of do that took that, well, now you've got to do it, haven't you? without pressure, because if I'd said no, we wouldn't have done it on that day, you know? The main one, which was really an issue, was keeping my house. The rent issue, you know? That was the biggest thing. The main thing was getting some money, so benefits, talking to all the companies I owed money to, explaining the situation, and the great thing is so many of them were understanding, which I didn't expect. Talking to, like I say, particularly the housing people, because and once they knew what the situation was, they were like, well, why didn't you tell us? You know. But Emma helped me sort the benefits out for like housing benefit, that sort of thing. I got unemployment benefits sorted out as well, because talking to them, things started coming together, and that was because of Emma. So again, she offered to come with me to the unemployment office. So she did a lot of the introductions, if you like, which is the hardest thing, is actually making contact. You know, because you don't know who to talk to, you're afraid of what they're going to say. You know, it's just that icebreaker. It's like it's done for you, if you like. So it just takes that wall down. I started to feel a little bit better because I felt finally I was doing something to help myself. I was taking action rather than sitting there with my head in the sand. You know, and you guys actually were the best people to talk to. There is a genuine feeling that you actually do care. You know, it's that humanity, that warmth, you know, and that willingness to assist but not do it for you. And I mean that in the right way, you know. It's like I say, the introductions, the getting the ball rolling, but the phone gets handed to me. I have to do this, I have to do that, which is brilliant, because it made me feel like I was in control, or I was taking control again, and I'd lost all that. I could feel the weight going. Once things were starting to get sorted and people were aware and they knew I was waiting for the money to come in, it was like, well, okay, we know it's going to be X number of weeks before your benefits start. We won't do anything until then, and then we'll sort out plans and arrangements. So that really sorted things in respect of losing house, major issue, other debts, big problem because I've never had debts.
As part of a support plan, we always offer our activities programme to clients, and not all clients want to go to activities, and that's fine. After a conversation with Dean, he was encouraged to attend some of ours and actually ended up going to gardening, art and sewing, and has really enjoyed these and continues to attend them as well. And I think sort of being able to attend the activities allows you to sort of mix with other people who may have been in similar situations, or just to have those conversations with other people who can help you to feel that there are other people experiencing issues similar to your own, and I think they have really positive impacts on some of our clients here.
Got me talking to people again, because there was an art therapy group which I came to, that was lovely. The sewing group, I do the art group, a bit of gardening. Just got me mixing with people again, And the guys who run these groups are just real, very real, down to earth, normal people, And I love that. You can have a laugh with them, you can talk to them, Again, it's a lovely environment, there's no pressure, it's very positive, And meeting other people that I would probably never have met, who have got different backgrounds, but all ended up in the same sort of place, different reasons. And that was great, because it really kind of solidifies it's not just me. I've come a long way, really. I'm laughing again, which is great. Because I didn't. Obviously, you don't when you're like that. But I feel much more in control of my life again. I haven't cleared all my debts, but there's arrangements and things in place, so I don't have to worry about it. It's all happening. I've still got a house. Yes. I really, because when I think back to where I was, and I try not to because it's quite a dark place, I genuinely don't think I would be here, because I would have lost the house, I would have been on the street, and I don't know if I could have survived or not.
I think sometimes people just get to a point in their lives where they really just need a helping hand, and they need some support to figure out what they need to get things back on track. And it can be really hard to reach out for support, but that's ultimately what we're here for. We really do care about working with our clients and making sure that they have what they need, so that they ultimately don't end up on the streets, and that they do manage their accommodation. And I would encourage anyone to reach out for support and to come to our drop-in, or just reach out to anyone if we could support them.